sitting outside, enjoying the night. It's a nice night. And I got a big old fire going. My little homemade fire pit. Not too bad. Guess we'll do a video on the why, which is it's a complicated question. Hell, it's even a more complicated answer. Done with the cities. They're terrible. They're getting worse, not better. I do believe there'll be food issues. I'm growing my own food. And all that gets complicated, full of all kinds of stuff. And I'm not going to bother everybody with that. It's mostly my own opinions anyway, though there is evidence for these things. But that don't matter. The why concerning why the YouTube videos. Well, that's pretty easy. These are all for my business in the end. I am working on a business. I have an LLC up. I'm going to try to raise and sell food. Seems to be worth a lot of money right now. It's not a bad idea. And part of the service that I'm offering is that you will be able to look and see how your food is exactly raised that you get from me. I'm doing no chemicals, no fertilizers, no pesticides. I'm doing a permaculture thing. Some people would call these things organic. Technically, that's a federal term, so I'm not be able to advertise this stuff as organic until I get a thing from the feds for it, which you have to pay for one. It's over $1,000-something for one, which that's not a biggie. But I also have fields over here that are ran by farmers, and from what I've read, hard to get organic certification due to the fact that, well, some of that chemical does blow towards your land given whatever the wind is. So probably not going to get certified organic, though at some point I may try just to see. But either way, I'm doing the permaculture thing, and that's what my business plan has. It'll be as permaculture, and you will be able to see where it all comes from. I mean, that's pretty much the simple gist of it. I have no real interest in internet fame, though making money from these YouTube videos would be nice. All the benefits that go with all that would be nice. But it's not actually built into my business model, actually. So that's just what they would say, gravy on the biscuit, I guess. Hell, I would take that money and actually put it back into more projects for the farm. I would get more done. I've got solar to do and water I want to do, and yeah, there's 1,000,001 things to do. Personally, I don't want internet fame. I don't like it. I've always been behind the camera. That's a whole nother longer story. I've did all kinds of stuff as far as audio and visual stuff. I met famous people. So, yeah, did politicians. And anyway, that's another life, another time. Maybe another video, who knows. But, I kind of need a spokesperson that would be good at this because I don't like it, I'm never going to be good at it. But that's a thing that, I'm far out in the middle of nowhere, and I didn't grow up out here, so I don't really know a lot of people. So, and trying to bring people from where I know, well, that's kind of difficult too. So, I don't know. The world will provide a spokesperson, I guess, and I will have one when it does. And if it doesn't, then, well, I'll have these videos, which could be a lot better. That ain't no doubt. I don't really have the time to do all of this properly. I know video editing and how to do the software. I've did computers since the very beginning almost, so I'm pretty good at it actually. Could be better. Like I said, I haven't did a lot of it in years now. So, yeah, we pitched it at politicians, me and Benny Benito. Benny who's dead now. Some people out there will know what that name is. And many of you won't. Like I said, Benny's been dead for a while. But yeah, I mean, what will happen will happen. Like I said, in the end, it's just to show where your food comes from, track what I've done on the farm, and how it will change over time as I add more and more to it, as more infrastructure is built. So yeah, so if it doesn't make any money or get a lot of views per se, that's fine. Like I said, eventually I'll get food growing, which is just the first season actually. So, and I do have some food going. I got my chickens going and different other things. So there's experiments are going, and I've started the fruit stuff, which that takes years. I've got goji berries that are going into this year. I have about, well, I still have to do them, but there'd be around 50 plants actually going in. So depending on size of rows, I have a couple rows of these goji berries going. So I'll be able to offer all kinds of stuff like that. And I've got a pole barn that should go up next week. I'm hoping to do mushrooms and some stuff, but that's still a little further down the road. Like I said, I can only do so many things. It takes employees, at some point if you get too big, don't, can't do it all by yourself. But I'm still a long way from all that. But yeah, that's what the YouTube is all about. It's for the business. And if I can get a spokesperson that's good at what they do, and I'll know that when I see it. I'm pretty good with that. And yeah, then maybe that can take off, and if that makes any money whatsoever, which most of that would probably have to go to who the spokesperson was, but then whatever part of that came back to the business itself, I would put that back into more infrastructure for the farm, of course. So, yeah, I'd love to have a nice truck of some type. I need one, but don't have one just yet. I got my little hoopty car. Not good for farming, so though it gets you to and from, where you got to go and what you got to do. So that's good enough for now. Like I said, we've got tractors and I've got tools, and every day we're adding something to it and getting something done. So there'll be more and more and more. I got this stupid light over here, which is handy at times, but I don't really like it there. So I would like to move it if I can. I would like that further down by there. I can put lights up here on the house to actually get, lighting in here. So, and I just cleared out a bunch of area over here behind the house where there was a big old trash pile thingy from previous people here. So, and there'll be decks that go in at some point once we get all this other stuff worked out. And yeah, I'm kind of just documenting it all and getting her done slowly but surely. One day at a time, as they say. Like I said, Rome wasn't built in a day, and you ain't going to build no farm in a frickin' day. I haven't been doing this all my life either, so it's a learning experience. Like I said, just because you've read about it and studied it doesn't mean you know a thing about it until you actually have to do it hands-on. Many things have been I'm way behind where I thought I'd be because, well, yeah, many things are harder than what it seemed to be when you were looking into what you need to do and what you need to get. I have really clayish soil that's very rocky. So hand tilling this as I have so far has been amazingly hard. I almost broke my wrist the other day because I don't know, that's probably what, a 75-pound rock. Hit that with that tiller, and man, that jerked that thing out, about busted my wrist smooth off my arm. It hurt. I had to take a break afterwards. Then I went back out there and dug that stupid thing up and drug it over to the side. I'm collecting all the rocks. I'm going to try to use them for some purpose that I have no idea what that is at this point in time. But all these natural rocks I'm going to use for something. I mean, that's part of the whole permaculture philosophy, as I understand it, to use everything that's already there and use nature's system in order to support and, what's the key word, sustainability, to get it to sustain itself without all the artificial additives and preservatives, for a better word, all the chemicals, which are terrible for people, by the way. Terrible for your biology. All kinds of bad stuff is coming from them. I could give reports after reports of that. I'm sure there's plenty of YouTube videos already out there about it, though. So I'm not really trying to do that. I'm trying to just stay focused on mostly what I'm doing here, and I have not a clue what that is. I'm really curious if you picked that up on the mic. This camera is supposed to have night vision, but hey, I'm either too stupid to figure out how that works because the instructions didn't tell me, or it doesn't have it. But that was like, I don't know what that was. That was really close. The only, because there's nobody else that has animals like that close. So that had to be a wild animal. Sound like maybe a baby deer, a fawn. I hope that showed up on the video, by the way. I would love to go down there. If I had the night vision, we'd go straight the frick down there and figure it out, because that just came from right over there. That sounded like it was on my property, which I'm at the top of a hill. Sound does carry, but you can hear the dogs barking in the distance. And whatever that was much closer than those dogs. And like I said, I have dogs just on the other side of the creek over there, which is surprising they're not barking still. Yeah, I'd love to know what that was. That was a very strange noise. I really hope that shows up on the video. Anybody that hears that and knows what it is, by all means let me know. I would love to know what the heck that was. Because we do get a bunch of strange stuff out here. That's why this camera is supposed to have night vision. But I've tried the mode things. It's not there. I don't know. I don't know what the hell it is. What it is, I'll either have to figure it out or it doesn't have it. So one of the two. I don't know. And that big dog you hear, if you can hear that, that's way down, actually. I mean, that's probably a quarter mile, half a mile from me. He's way down and on the other side of the road. But that was very loud. Man, I want to go down there and find out. I got flashlights and crap, but I got weapons because, yeah, I have seen one bobcat. There are coyotes, and there's probably wolves somewhere or another, though I have not seen any of those, or coyotes, but I have seen a bobcat. There are no bears in this area, though there are reports of Bigfoot, though sporadically and not very good reports in my opinion. The one legend I've read about in this area is a headless horseman thingy, so not too worried about that one either. There is the Indian silver mine legend thing. Now that would be good. I'd love to find that on my property. There is this little part up here that looks like it might have been a collapsed cave at one point in time. I don't know. Haven't had time to do all that yet. Like I said, I'm trying to focus on what's important and getting a lot of things started this first season. That's what's important. Getting infrastructure in, getting the pole barn, testing out some different plants to see what actually grows here, how much I'll have to amend the soil to get things to grow here. I've got a bunch of fruit stuff that I've got in the ground, which that takes a few years to get it to start producing. Like I said, I have apple trees down there. It'll be 3 years before those couple apple trees even, and I need more. But those root plants are like 25 to 35 bucks a pop. And I want Brayburn apples, by the way, and they're not cheap to actually get those in here, to get those plants. And they still take 3 years to actually produce. So, I mean, everything is somewhat a long-term plan in many ways. But you got to work on infrastructure. I've got my basic chickens going, but I want more chickens, and I want a chicken run. I don't like that chicken run or that coop. I want that down there by the barn. Well, the pole barn that should be going up soon, next week or week after. But I got to get all that